Good morning, everyone. This is Marcel Brown. It is Friday, February 17th, and this is another Facebook Live Friday. My apologies, had a little technical difficulty there with, for some reason, the Facebook app wouldn't go live, which we just had some internet issues this week. Normally our internet provider Charter is very reliable, so we just had a little bit of trouble for about an evening and a day or so with just some slow connections. And it's amazing, as people say, I hear it all the time, when that internet connection goes down, you just feel like you're totally lost, especially when you do work from home and stuff. So anyway, start things off. Article I read early this week about a app that you can use as a birth control method. At first when I read it, I'm like, how does that work? But apparently it's been it's been certified by some Swedish research firms as reliable as a birth control pill, which sounds pretty amazing. Anyway, the basic way it works, it's basically the rhythm method, as many of you may be familiar with, but taken with the idea that the app basically does is make it so that you can do the rhythm method much more effectively. So the question really for me is, how well do you trust that? Obviously, I think some people, depends on everybody's situation, but the rhythm method's been around a long time, and so it's not like this is anything new, but given that an app may make it work all that much better, and if it's been, research has found that it's very effective, and that could be very interesting. I guess it sort of speaks to the fact of how much apps have integrated into society today, that you can have an app for birth control. So I just found it very interesting, certainly something to keep an eye on. And also, I mean, just it continues to show just how the sky's the limit as far as apps and the inventiveness of people to take this new world of technology and make new applications about it. So in other news, Yahoo disclosed yet another security breach. They all seem to be related from the big massive hack they had a few years back. It's hard to tell if this is new or it's related or what the deal is, but at this point, it's something that happened in the past, so what's done is done. It's not like anything is new, but certainly if you use a Yahoo account and you haven't changed passwords in the last year or so, you definitely should. Which also brings up, I've been testing a lot of two-factor authentication, and you can use two-factor authentication with Yahoo, as well as Gmail and Hotmail and a lot of other services, and I highly encourage that you start doing that, because it does prevent a lot of potential breaches. If somehow your password is compromised, they still can't log in without that second factor, which is usually your phone or a code or something that comes to your phone. So look into that. But pretty bad for Yahoo, because they're in the middle of trying to get Verizon to buy them for almost $5 billion. And apparently because of these breaches, the news reports are that Verizon has negotiated the price of the sale of Yahoo reduced by $250 million. So quarter of $1 billion they've reduced the price because of the breaches. In my mind, I think it would have been more, but that is what it is. Speaking of Verizon, over the weekend they introduced, or maybe it was Monday, they introduced a new unlimited plan, and that should be unlimited in quotes, because as with most unlimited plans that have been introduced by various carriers in the last couple of years, that they're not truly unlimited in the sense that you can just use as much data as you want. They all have some caveats, and Verizon's is no exception. Similar to other providers, they cap full bandwidth data at 22 gigabytes a month. So basically what that means is, if you using this unlimited plan and you go over 22 gigabytes, you can still continue to use data. However, they're going to throttle the speed down on you. Now Verizon says that they'll throttle it if there is other network traffic that needs it. In other words, they deprioritize your bandwidth versus others. So in theory, if you live in an area that isn't heavily trafficked on a certain cell tower, then the Verizon Unlimited could be more than 22 gigabytes of full bandwidth, but that is their particular caveat to their unlimited. There's also a few other caveats, and one of the more interesting ones is that if you cannot pay for this new unlimited plan with a regular credit card. And you have to wonder, well, what's that for? If you're a business owner, you're well aware of the fact that when you take credit cards, the credit card company takes a percent, 2 or 3, depending on your particular credit card provider, off that total. So if someone buys from me a $100 product, and then we run their card for $100, I end up getting only like $97, $98 out of that. The credit card company gets gets a percentage of that. Most credit card companies will not allow you to charge that to the customer. So you can't say, well, this product's $100, but if you pay with a credit card, then it's $103. You can't do that by most credit card rules, unless in certain cases, a convenience fee or this type of thing, which is starting to get a little more rare now. But Verizon basically saying you can't pay with credit card, clearly because they don't, I guess their profit margin's so thin there, they don't want that 2 to 3% to go to get eaten out of their profit there. Now, curious thing is, I'm wondering if that's actually if Verizon's actually going to be allowed to do that, if the credit card companies are going to come back and smack that down, but we'll see. But so that's interesting, that basically if you're going to do the Verizon Unlimited plan, you have to pay by bank draft or a debit credit card, not a regular credit card or a rewards card or that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. But the great thing is that at least this is competitive pressure now, as it seems like T-Mobile and Sprint have pushed their unlimited plans. Obviously that's affecting AT&T and Verizon now for them to start rolling out unlimited plans as well. And then by doing that, when Verizon rolled out their plan, well then Sprint and T-Mobile made some changes to their unlimited plan to better compete with Verizon. So this is all good news in that it's pushed the competition between the wireless carriers is getting hot and heavy, and hopefully this is all good for us, the consumers, in that should be driving prices down and increasing our data limits and this sort of thing. So that's the good news there. A couple final tidbits. The rumors are strong that Apple's going to introduce wireless charging with their iPhone, which would be a cool feature, no doubt. But I have to wonder just how important is wireless charging to you, because in most wireless charging scenarios now, you have to place the phone on a charger. So you have to literally just put the phone down on that charger. Now, it is convenient that you just put it down. You don't have to plug in a wire, but is it really all that convenient? Does it really make that big a deal? I tend to think not, because it's not like wireless charging add-ons for iPhones or other types of smartphones are blowing the doors out in sales or anything. So I have to wonder just if that's just going to be a nice touch from Apple, or if it's going to be a big selling point for people. So certainly I'm interested in your guys' comments as to what you think about that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Certainly if you have any questions or comments, certainly reach out on my Facebook page or my website. This is Marcel Brown, the most trusted name in technology. I will see you next Friday.